along Route 17 between Oakley and Dunsville. Okay, so if you live out in Essex County and you're familiar with those locations, again, what we're looking at here, this is the county line here. This is Essex County. Okay, so we're looking at Dunsville in here down to Oakley. There's the circulation. It is crossing the line out of King and Queen County into Essex County. A tornado warning now in effect for the circulation in here. These are very high level winds. Mike, can we just query that under Howerton Road and just look at how strong these are? 88 miles an hour. So again, we're looking at these winds. Now these are off the surface, a couple thousand feet up. So again, we're not looking at surface winds, but this just shows you the intensity of the wind that's flowing away from the radar site there and then in toward the radar site in this red shading. So there is a strong indication there of potentially a tornado developing. Now it is going to be just south of Dunsville. So again, there's your tornado warning. Storm is going to move right across the Rappahannock River. It's going to cross Route 17, and it's going to cross Route 17 probably about 3 miles down just a little south and east of Dunsville. So again, circulation is approaching Route 17 in Essex County. It's moving 60 miles an hour. So in 1 hour, this thing's going to be out across the Potomac. It's moving so fast. So center cross at 3:49. The current time is 3:48. Then Wares Wharf at 3:51. Kennard, so we're looking in the northern neck here. Kennard at 3:54. That's a tiny little area just a little bit south and east of Warsaw. Downing 3:59, Mulch at 4:02, Callio 4:05, Lottsburg at 4:06, and Claraville at 4:10. So again, if you are in the path of this storm, you need to take your tornado safety precautions right now. That is in the interior part of your home. A basement's always the best place to be, but most folks don't have a basement. So if you don't have one, just get in the lowest floor and away from any outdoor or any external walls. So you don't want to have any windows in the room that you're in. So hallway's good. Underneath the staircase, if you've got a closet in there, is always a good place to be as well, or a hallway closet's a good spot to be. You want to abandon cars, mobile homes, just try to get into a wood brick home if you can do so. So again, those are your tornado safety precautions. This is probably the third tornado warning I think we've had today, third or fourth. And again, it's all kind of embedded within this line of storms. And there's the circulation right there. It's over Howerton Road. Howerton Road now moving up into Essex County. And again, it's updating very quickly. Now the circulation is going to be right over Route 17. Again, I'd say about 4 miles southeast of Dunsville. So we're looking very close to Garrett's Marina. So again, well, there's Center Cross. Center Cross is going to be in here as well. Garrett's Marina is going to be in the threat area, and then it's going to cross over the river. You see Sharps in here in the northern neck, so Sharps, and then down Route 3 toward Farnham. You guys need to stay alert as this storm moves in very quickly between Oakley and Dunsville. So this storm's going to shoot right between the two of those. It's moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. This warning goes until 4:15, so another 25 minutes as it moves rapidly through the middle peninsula. It's about to move out of the middle peninsula. It's about to cross the Rappahannock River and move into the northern neck. Again, there's the circulation. So there's Dunsville in here. You got this area here, so it looks like there's a little bit of a hook trying to develop with this thing. It's not getting great air. You've got storms to the south as well. It is getting inflow in here by way of Jamaica and Oakley, so you're getting some southeasterly inflow into the storm. It's right on the boundary too. It's probably right on that stationary boundary, and this is going to lift north and east up toward Lottsburg as it continues to track to the east-northeast. So Farnham, Sharps, eventually out toward Heathsville, Lottsburg. Stay alert as this line of storms continues to approach the area. There's the circulation right on Route 17, just a little south and east of Dunsville. And it's going to be approaching Sharps as well. So it's going to move across the Rappahannock River. A lot of times you'll see storms, and it's very flat out here in this part of Virginia, in the northern neck and middle peninsula. But even just going from the regular grass and tree area over water, a lot of times you'll see a storm that will produce a tornado right over the water. You just don't have anything inhibiting that surface circulation. So a lot of times the storm will come in, it'll touch down as it goes over water, and then that tornado then will move inland and affect areas. So just stay alert. Even if you can see the storm from across the river, nothing's going on, this thing could produce a tornado really at any time. Now it's moving over the Rappahannock River. So the circulation is now starting to move out of Essex County, still technically in Essex County, but it's moving over the Rappahannock River, moving northeast, east-northeast at about 60 miles per hour. And locations in the path of this include Sharps and Farnham. So in the northern neck, Sharps and Farnham, you guys need to take those tornado safety precautions immediately. Mike.
Just going to say, with the speed that this is moving, Zach, even though it's not included in the tornado warning, like Kinsale, Louisetta, Heathsville, Burgess, just because there's not a magenta box around you, this may actually get issued a little bit farther eastward if it stays the way it is right now.
Right, because to the end of this is going to take about 15 minutes. And then you got the rest of this. So, I mean, 15 minutes, it's moving so fast, 60 miles an hour. We got to be alert on this thing, even beyond the area that is under a tornado warning. So again, this is tracking to the east-northeast at about 60 miles per hour. The circulation is going to be right in here, and it'll be moving right across the Rappahannock River. Look at the winds, 93 miles an hour now. And again, we are looking at winds off the surface. So I'm not trying to tell you this is what's happening at the ground level, because there's no indication from this that that's what's happening at the ground level. But it's just an indication of what's going on off the surface. We're looking at the winds off the surface. That is inflow into this storm, and that is very, very strong. You see a lot of storms, and you look at storms over a quarter of a century like I have, and you see numbers like that. They don't come around that often. You don't see numbers that get up that high that often. So again, that is a strong circulation. It is right over the Rappahannock River now, and now moving into the northern neck. So it's now moving into Richmond County up in the northern neck. So moving quickly here, I would think that in short order, you're going to have the Middle Peninsula section, the Essex part of this, and certainly King and Queen, dropped from the tornado warning, and it's going to become more of just a warning for Richmond County and over into Northumberland County as well. So Mike is putting on some rotation in there. You want to explain what you're doing for the folks at home?
Yeah, the radar, we used some different radar products, and one of the other ones I'm looking at is starting to show the potential for more rotation in this exact area. It's pretty much what we've been showing, but the fact that there's a radar product that's starting to insist that there's more rotation there than, you know, we've been talking about it. It's now confirming the rotation a little bit more is what I'm trying to say.
Right, yeah, exactly. So basically an algorithm that's been triggered by the basic parameters that we're looking at right now in terms of the winds and just the intensity of the storm itself. So again, we've got very, very strong winds over Sharps now, just a little bit north and west of Sharps. And again, that would indicate where we could have potentially a tornado right now, and that's going to be approaching Farnham. So from Sharps to Farnham in the northern neck, you need to take those tornado safety precautions right now. Again, lowest level, away from any external walls or windows. Get out of a manufactured or mobile home and get in to a wood or brick structure. You don't have a whole lot of time. They're moving so fast. All right, these storms down here, there's a severe thunderstorm warning down here into Dinwiddie County. This will be for Colonial Heights, Hopewell, and Petersburg. And I want to stress that this area of Virginia has much better air coming into these storms. So greater humidity, the cloud bases are going to be lower. There is more rotation down here as well to at least shear to lend itself to rotation in these storms. So this is something to watch very, very closely from Petersburg to Dinwiddie to McKinney as these storms continue to track. You folks in Stony Creek, Carson, the 95 corridor out of Petersburg south. Again, this is an area that I think we're going to end up seeing some tornado warnings from here in maybe the next hour at most. And we've got this one tornado warning here. This is going to be now moving into the northern neck, moving out of the Middle Peninsula, right in here near Sharps. That's just a little bit south and west of Farnham. Mike, go ahead.
They issued a new severe thunderstorm warning to take over where this tornado warning ends. But with the circulation that's there, I mean, I think we should consider that a tornado warning even though they didn't mark it as that.
Right, and I think that probably it's something to trigger some alarms on phones and maybe some weather radios if people have them. Just something to give people a heads up that, okay, there is a storm that's coming. We think, and I'm just sort of thinking what the Weather Service might be thinking here. We think this could be a tornado warning, but at the very least it will be a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's probably what it's doing, is just getting folks aware, getting folks ready, because the storm is moving so fast that even if it were a tornado warning right now, you'd need to prepare. So stay alert. Louisetta, Lotsburg, Heathsville, This storm is coming in, and it's coming in quickly, and has a tornado warning on it to your south and west. Farnham over to Sharps. That is a very intense area of wind and circulating wind as well. And then it could be elevated. If it's elevated the entire time, that would be great. But rarely do you ever see triple-digit winds when we query these winds, even a long way from the radar site. You know, a couple thousand feet up, several thousand feet up off the surface. That's 104 miles per hour. That's jet stream type stuff, and we're nowhere close to that when we're looking at this level. So this is relatively low level, very, very high in winds at 104 miles per hour. Again, away from the radar site, and then toward the radar site is much weaker. So there's a strong indication of rotation there along Route 3, now out into Richmond County between Farnham and Warsaw. Now just a little bit north of Sharps of a potential tornado here. Again, a strong signal for maybe a mesocyclone that could be producing a tornado, and that is something to watch very carefully. All right, so this continues to move to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. It's going to be crossing Route 360, headed for Lotsburg. So if you live in Lotsburg, you're not under a tornado warning right now. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but I'm telling you, in 15 minutes, it's there. I'd say less than 15 minutes. In fact, Mike, if you get a moment, let's put a storm track on the circulation that's sitting right on Highway 3 right now, a little bit just to the north and west of Farnham. And we want to take this and bring it right up into the northern neck. It's already in the northern neck, but take it all the way out. And again, that's going to bring it near Downings at 401, Mulch at 404, 407 Calumet, Lotsburg at 408. It's 3:59 right now. That's 9 minutes for you folks in Lotsburg. Claraville 411, Edwardsville 415, Foley at 417, and Caen at 420. All right, so this storm, again, moving east-northeast at 60 miles per hour, has the potential to produce a tornado. Very high-level winds being indicated out in the northern neck from radar. And this has been an area, it's a kind of a linear area, a linear cluster of storms that has embedded circulations within it. These can produce tornadoes. They can produce some serious damage from just straight line winds as well. So something to track here. Again, there's the time of arrival. Once again, this is for the whole line here, so broadening it way out. Downings 4 o'clock, Village 402, Mulch 404, Calumet at 405, Lotsburg at 407. And Howland 410, Claraville 411, Edwardsville 415, Gagnon at 417. I want to mention that you are watching the CBS 6 News at 4 o'clock with continuing coverage of tornado warnings here across the Piedmont and Tidewater of Virginia. The entire area here across central and eastern Virginia, for all intents and purposes, is under a tornado watch, just meaning that the atmosphere is conducive for storms that could produce tornadoes. And this is about the 4th tornado warning that we've seen so far this afternoon. These storms are in steering flow that is very, very strong, so they're moving very, very fast. The slowest storm we've had so far has been calibrated at 45 miles per hour. This one is moving at 60 miles per hour. And again, that's going to be right in here. So a little bit north and west of Farnham, headed for Lotsburg out in the northern neck. So this is going to cross 360, a little bit north of Farnham, heading over toward Lotsburg. It does have the potential for a tornado. And this tornado warning goes until 4:15, I believe. Another 14 minutes on this. And honestly, by then, it's probably going to be out close to Louisetta and out across the water. So not much longer here. So we've got it about 5 miles from Lotsburg. We'll go 6 miles from Lotsburg. So
6 is Heathville.
To
5 to Lotsburg, 6 to Heathville.
Oh, 6 to Heathville. Here we go. Yep, one limit. 6 to Heathville, 5 to Lotsburg. When it's moving 60 miles per hour, it's simple math. 5 minutes here, 6 minutes here. Okay, so that's very, very fast closing speed. Coming in quick, east, northeast at 60 miles per hour. Lotsburg 5 miles in 5 minutes, 6 miles over to Heathville. So stay alert as the storm moves through. Notice that neither one of those locations are in the tornado warning area. It ends right here. Something's going to have to happen. As of right now, there is a severe thunderstorm warning downstream for Louisetta, as well as the Heathville and Lotsburg area, but we'll see. Yeah, as of right now, I still think there's a very real threat for a tornado to develop with this storm as it continues to move to the northern neck in Richmond County and Northumberland County. And this storm again, it's part of a line, so it's not a singular storm. There's not any lightning with it at all. We're just looking at heavy rainfall and then that wind, but it doesn't matter. Lightning doesn't matter. It's all about the wind, and the winds here, they are intense. Again, this area at one point, Mike sampled it, and it was 104 miles per hour. Again, we're looking way up off the surface, but still 104 is a number that you don't really see very often. I mean, maybe a couple times a year. You just don't see that. There's 95 miles an hour, 93 miles an hour. So again, these winds off the surface, but that is some intense wind, even off the surface. And so we have very strong vertical wind shear, and we have strong directional wind shear. And both of those will lend themselves to storms that could produce tornadoes, and storms that have little embedded supercells within them. Supercells are just storms that have a rotating updraft in there, and those are the ones that produce tornadoes. So that's what we're tracking very carefully this afternoon. We've had several of those type storms and several tornado warnings because of that. So there's a circulation there north of Farnham, right over 360. Continues to now reach the very edge of the tornado warning as it moves up into the northern neck. It's approaching Lotsburg. So if you do live out toward Lotsburg, you need to take your tornado safety precautions and do it right now. Again, there's the circulation north of Farnham, south and west of Lotsburg, and approaching Louisetta.
Oh, there's a new tornado warning right there.
There it is. Okay, so they have extended the tornado warning now. That's good, because that circulation's still there. So now you are under a tornado warning out in Louisetta and Lotsburg and Heathville until 4:30. So the circulation, it's maintained itself. It is intense. It continues to track through the northern neck, and now the rest of that area has been added to the tornado warning. So Heathville, Lotsburg, Louisetta area, all in the tornado warning. I think Kinsale as well is behind the banner here. You guys likely in it as well. And again, movement here, well, you're just on the outside of it in Kinsale, and it's going to move south of Kinsale. So again, it's going to be moving up toward Callio in Lotsburg, Walmsley, Louisetta Lake, so right across the rivers there. And so this is an intense circulation. Again, we're looking right in here near the tiny little area of Village, and just a little bit south of Callio. Lotsburg and Walmsley looks like they're going to be center line for this thing as it comes in. And what we're looking at here is the northern neck. If you're just tuning in, this is the northern neck up in parts of Richmond County and Northumberland County as well. The storm continues to track to the northeast really quickly, so it's going to be out over the Potomac in very short order. We also have a circulation down near Jamaica in the Middlesex County area, right along Route 17. So right in here, there's no warning with this one, but that is a circulation right in there. You've got lightning strikes, a little bit of rising motion in this one, maybe a little bit of an inflow area. So I would think Jamaica could be next on the list. And then also, I mentioned this earlier, the storm now near Wakefield, and these storms here lining up from Colonial Heights and Petersburg down through Dinwiddie. Right now, a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, but I could see that upgraded to a tornado warning as these storms progress farther eastward. As of right now, you've got no circulation in here. Hopefully that stays that way, but the atmosphere to the south and east has a lot of wind shear in it, and I could see these storms continuing to move to the east and posing a problem for Charles City County, down into Sussex County as well, Prince George County. So again, stay alert, guys. You've got some warnings out there. These are all severe thunderstorm warnings, but at any time, these storms could start to show some of that rotation. It can happen in very short order in an atmosphere like this. Okay, back into the northern neck we go, and we've got the Lotsburg storm just a little bit west of Lotsburg, and there's that circulation, probably still right at the intersection of 202 and 360, and that's going to move right up through Lotsburg. And this storm's moving to the east-northeast at 60 miles per hour. Mike, when they added the new warning, did they change the movement?
They went 55.
55 miles an hour. Okay, so still moving very, very fast. So again, that circulation here, what we're looking at, I know that this is not the prettiest thing to look at. It's not what you look at when you look at your phone and you look at the radar that's on your phone. But this is the wind. This shows us what the wind's doing, and that is everything. That's the only thing really that matters at this point. We know that storms can be dangerous with their lightning, and there can be some flooding with heavy rainfall, but as of right now, we're looking at a threat for a tornado. Mike has circled the area of greatest concern, and it's right there along 360 near the intersection of 202, just a little bit west of Lottsburg. And that storm going to be heading up Louisetta Road, close to Louisetta. In fact, I think this could easily move right across Lottsburg and right across Louisetta. There is no confirmation of a tornado at this time, but there is an indication, strong indication of rotation with this storm. It's not in a very good area for radar interpretation because you're seeing things that are way up off the surface. Storms don't often run right over the radar site, so you can get a good sampling of it. So that's just kind of the nature of things. But when you sample the winds and you see 103 miles per hour, that's strong jet stream type stuff, and we're nowhere close to that level. We're much lower than that. So this is an indication of very strong low to mid-level winds and the potential for that rotation as Mike is showing. So that center of circulation is going to be just a little south of Callio now, a little bit south and east of Village. And right in here, that's going to be tracking to the east-northeast, right across Lottsburg, and then it is going to be heading. There's an update on it now. So again, it is closing in on Lottsburg. It's just a little south of Callio, and that's going to be heading up toward Louisetta here in really no time at all. Let's put another storm track on there if we can, Mike, now that we've got a new update on this. Again, there's your circulation essentially right over Callio. And again, that's moving northeast. So Lottsburg to Louisetta, and then this out here, right here, this is just the river. That's the Potomac. So again, we're looking at the shoreline right here. As this continues to move to the north and east, the locations, the path of here, again, a lot of rural land out there, but folks are definitely at home. We've got a lot of folks that do live out that direction, and a lot of interest out in that direction as well. It's moving 55 miles per hour, so that is going to bring it near Callio at 409. It's 409 right now, so we talked about how it's right over Callio. Lottsburg at 411, Bundick at 413, Sisson's Corner at 414, and Cowart at 415. If you are in the path of this, you need to always think lowest level. First floor of your home. If you have a basement, that's always the best place to be. But think first floor and think the interior part of your home. Not just inside your home, but away from those external walls and away from any rooms that have a window in them. So hallways are great, closets are great, bathrooms are good that are off of a hallway in your home. Just always think lowest level. You need to get out of a manufactured or mobile home and get into a wood or brick structure. Much better places to be in a situation like this. So again, these precautions, you got to take them right away, even ahead of these storms, way ahead of these storms, because they're moving so fast. And you won't have to take them for that long because, again, these storms will blow through the area very quickly. Again, we've got a broken line of storms that extends from up around Lottsburg and over Callio. Is this a new warning, Mike, for the Jamaica storm?
That is a new severe thunderstorm warning for that Jamaica storm we were zoomed into a little while ago. Okay. And I also want to mention there's a new tornado warning for Surrey and Sussex counties there, in fact.
Okay, so talked about how this part of Virginia is primed for rotating storms, and here we go. We've got a tornado warning now, and this is right in their backyard down at Wakefield. So while you say stay away from external windows and walls, there's probably somebody out in the parking lot right now trying to get an eye on that thing as it's coming right across 460. So again, here's 460, and you can see the circulation coming in there. There's Waverly. So again, that circulation is affecting the 460 corridor. New tornado warning. And is that Sussex County primarily? Yeah. Surrey County as well? Probably. So we have a new tornado warning. Again, that's going to be Sussex County and moving in, affecting the Waverly area. And that circulation is going to continue to move north and east very quickly like others. Again, it's going to be right back in here is where you're going to have the circulation. And still tracking that cluster of storms around Petersburg, Prince George County as well. No tornado warning there, but that could change. And a severe thunderstorm warning up into Middlesex County. That's going to be for that storm near Jamaica. At any time, I think that one could be one that could get enough rotation to prompt a tornado warning. Okay, the tornado watch has been dropped in a few locations back to the west. Still technically for Hanover County, as well as Henrico, City of Richmond, and Chesterfield County, but no longer in the watch out to the north and west through Louisa County, Goochland, Powhatan. You guys no longer in the watch. This watch goes until 7 o'clock. Many areas will be cleared from the threat before 7 o'clock. We're already seeing that happen. I think that'll happen in the Richmond area as well. So again, tornado warning for Sussex County and Surrey County with the storm that is crossing 460 between Waverly and Wakefield. And then you have a cluster of storms from near Petersburg and Colonial Heights down the 85 corridor through Dinwiddie. No strong circulations, but on the leading edge right here, right in here at the end of the E in Dinwiddie, starting to see something showing up there. So that would affect you folks over in the Carson area. So just stay alert with that line of storms as it comes in. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, so you want to be inside and away from the windows as it is, but this could be upgraded to a tornado warning as we get into more and more shear. Let's look at this storm here, Mike, in Charles City County. Has an interesting configuration to it, and it looks like it could be very, very close to the boundary. And again, that might have a circulation with it. We're not getting a lot of data with this, but we'll see when it updates again what may be going on with that storm. And of course, we have the tornado warning that continues for the northern neck. And again, this storm is moving so quickly now that it is no longer in effect. Well, technically it may be for the Middle Peninsula, but it's gone. So don't worry about that if you live in Richmond County, or excuse me, Essex County. Essex County's out of it. But there's that circulation. That's going to be right along Louisetta Road, just north of Lotsburg. Again, that is an intense circulation. You've got winds that are coming toward the radar site in this dark red and away in this yellowish shading. So right on Louisetta Road. Again, this right here, here's Louisetta. This is the coast. So again, we're looking at the Potomac River here. So that's right along the shoreline there. So this is going to be moving right across the Potomac River here very quickly. Their weather service up there is going to pick this up in a heartbeat. I can promise you that. They're going to issue a warning up into southern Maryland. In fact, I'm surprised they haven't already done that as it continues to track to the north. But this is an intense, what could be an intense circulation. It definitely is off the surface. Very, very strong winds aloft, and it is moving up now. Leaving Louisetta, or leaving Louisetta Road, is near Louisetta, so potential for a tornado up around Louisetta, north and west of Louisetta.
Hey, Zach.
Mike, what you got?
From Northumberland County, the sheriff's reporting there's a tornado on the ground in Callio, and that was as of about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so tornado on the ground in Callio 5 minutes ago. So, okay, so we had a confirmed tornado on the ground. That's from the sheriff up in Northumberland County. Okay, sheriff in Northumberland County confirms a tornado on the ground in Callio. We were telling you about this circulation over Callio. That was 5 minutes ago. Now this tornado is moving right along the coast, moving over the Potomac here. Louisetta, you guys are in the threat area of this for a couple more minutes, and then it will move out across the Potomac. And it looks like we've got an extension of the tornado warning up into southern Maryland. So it makes perfect sense as this goes. So we have a confirmed tornado on the ground out in Callio. And so that storm, it had an intense circulation. We saw it, 104-mile-per-hour winds just off the surface. So we saw the potential there as this continued to track to the northeast very rapidly, and now north and west of Louisetta. This thing is going to be moving right across the Potomac River here in just a matter of minutes. All right, so we have seen on radar the potential. Now we have the confirmation of what is going on. So again, we've got a circulation here as well. This is the one that moved through Jamaica. We get a tornado warning with this at any second. I thought we could when this moved near Jamaica. This is Waterview. This is in the Middle Peninsula in Middlesex County. Waterview. This moved from Jamaica to north of Waterview. It's right here now, and this is going to be moving near Lively, between Moratico and Lively. There could be a tornado here as well. All I'm seeing is what's on radar, but I'm telling you this doesn't look that dissimilar from what just moved through Callio and is now moving up just a little bit west of Louisetta, which did have a confirmed tornado with it. Got the sheriff's report of a confirmed tornado on the ground in Callio. And now that storm is moving up across the Potomac River. Let's check it one more time and see this thing out across the water and out of Virginia. Okay, so it's in Louisetta right now. So that tornado, it moved from Callio across Louisetta Road, and if it's still on the ground, it would have moved from Callio across Louisetta Road and through Louisetta, and now it is moving out across the Potomac. So it would be over water now at this time. It would be over water and heading into southern Maryland. But there's where we picked it up, and we've been tracking it the entire time, but we came right across Callio, Louisetta Road, and just west of Louisetta, and now it is out over water. All right, so now we've got this other circulation here. This one is just a little bit west of Lively. And Mike, can we query that? That's got to be at least 75, 80 mile per hour winds crossing 354. So this is Lively here. There's 354. And again, so 67 mile per hour elevated winds with this one as it continues to track across Moratico Road and just a little bit west of Lively. So this one does not have a tornado warning on it. It's a severe thunderstorm warning, but that could change at any time. We also have warnings farther south. There's a tornado warning for the Waverly area. So 2 active warnings at this time, one in the northern neck, but you folks in the northern neck, that tornado has now moved over the Potomac. Farther south, you've got a tornado warning for this storm crossing 460. And you're just not getting a good look at it because it's just right on top of the radar. Let's check out the regular intensities, Mike, if we can, and see what's going on. So, you know, if there's going to be a tornado, it's probably going to be right in here. It's just so hard to resolve that. You're at the cone of silence, essentially, so the radar has this section above it they can't see because it's not shooting straight up overhead. It kind of goes around, and so unfortunately, you're not able to see exactly what's going on in this area of relative radar quiet, but right in here, so say a little north of Wakefield, a little bit to the west of Dendron is where this potential tornado is going to be. That is for Sussex County and Surrey County, and it'll be crossing Route 10 as it continues to move to the northeast at, is this another 55 mile per hour storm, Mike?
This one's 45. I'm putting the storm track on right
Okay,
now.
so 45 miles per hour on that one. And you see what's going on up here. We got Williamsburg in the path of this storm. So 45 miles per hour on that Sussex County storm. North and east of 460 is going to take it near Dendron at 422. Spratley's Mill at 425, Elberon at 427, Moorings at 430, Surrey at 433, Alliance 437, Pleasant Point at 439, Hollybrook at 444, and Homewood at 446. All right, so these things are ripping along at anywhere from 45 to 60 miles per hour. The storms a little bit south of the boundaries seem to be moving a little bit slower than the ones a little bit farther north. Again, there's not much going on back in here. Every now and then you'll see a little bit of circulation trying to get going, but as of right now, I don't see much. Right in here, Mike's kind of zooming in on it. He saw what I just saw. There's really not much there. Not yet. So we're going to continue to track that area. Currently, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning for Colonial Heights and Petersburg, as well as Dinwiddie. And then we have a tornado warning here for Surrey and Sussex County. And of course, we have the tornado warning as well that is up in the northern neck. But again, that storm, that tornado has now, it was a confirmed tornado that we're getting, at least from the sheriff's office in Callio, called in a tornado on the ground in Callio. And now that has moved out. It is over the Potomac River, and things now settling down a little bit in the wake of that storm. There's Callio. They are in the clear air now, but that storm moved right over the top of them and moved right over Louisetta Road and just a little bit west of Louisetta, maybe very near Louisetta, and is now over the Potomac River, heading up into southern sections of Maryland. So we don't know about damage in Callio yet. You know, a lot of rural area out there. There are folks that live in that area, though. So hopefully everything is okay, and it's just trees and crops and such. But hopefully everything's okay. We'll get an update on what's going on up in Callio after that confirmed tornado moved through the area. So again, we have the tornado warning is going to continue for another 10 minutes. They're probably going to drop it just because the storm is now moved out of there. Farther south, we've got the storm near Jamaica, and we've got this one that we're looking at near Moratico and Lively. Let's check the velocities on that one again. So it's still there. You still got a circulation north of Lively, right up in here. It's not quite as strong, but it's definitely one to track as it approaches 201 coming out of Lancaster. So again, we're going to track this circulation as it continues to move to the north and east. You got Burgess in here. So between Burgess and Heathsville, right along 360. So this circulation is going to pass right between those two. Probably it will be coming closer to Burgess than it will Heathsville, this circulation will. As it moves to the northeast. And again, this is another fast-moving storm. These storms have been moving anywhere from 45 to 60 miles per hour. So the steering flow is super strong with these storms. There's your circulation, again, north of Lively now. And moving to the northeast, it's going to be heading up toward the 360 corridor between Heathsville and Burgess. So be ready up there. Even though there's not a tornado warning in effect at this time, that could change. Okay, as well as Regina. You guys have to watch out as well out in the northern neck. Getting more updates also for damage as this storm moved through Callio. We're going to report that to you when we get it. As of right now, all we know is that there was a confirmed tornado in Callio. It matched up with intense winds. And Mike, what do you got for us?
Well, there's been an update to that report.
Okay.
Although it was officially before mentioned as a tornado on the ground, it's a possible tornado on the ground, and multiple tree lines are down.
Tree and power lines are down? Okay.
Trees and power lines down. Callio to Lottsburg.
Okay. All right. So we're going from initially, the sheriff said a tornado was on the ground. Now we're getting a possible tornado on the ground. So we're just relaying this information to you as we're getting it from the officials, from the official of the location. So there's some damage up in Callio. Potential tornado was on the ground there. That storm is now gone, and it is moving out into Maryland now. We've got another storm here. This one is north and east of Lively, north of Lancaster, and this one is going to be headed up toward Burgess, between Heathsville and Burgess. It's right along, about to cross 201 and head up toward 360. So again, that storm has the potential to possibly trigger a tornado warning. As of right now, it is not. It's north and east of Lively, and it is headed north and east very quickly, like all the storms have this afternoon. It is moving at about 55 miles per hour. Let's check the south storm, Mike, if we can. The 460 storm. This one's down in Sussex County. At last check, it was a little north of the Wakefield area. Again, you see how quickly all this stuff is moving through. We've got storms run West Point to Jamaica. A new severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be for Reedville and over toward Irvington. And there's the tornado warning for this storm that is a little bit north of Wakefield, and that is going to be heading up toward Williamsburg. And you got a big cluster of storms back here. This cluster of storms from Petersburg and now over toward Hopewell and Prince George is going to be moving to the east. There's no warning with that right now. We continue to sample it and look for any kind of circulations. Last check, there wasn't much there, but we'll look at it again. And again, Hopewell to Prince George, just little tiny things in here. Nothing that's super alarming at this point, but all that can change because this is an area that does have pretty strong wind shear in the atmosphere. So as these storms continue to move, they're also getting pretty good air. There's nothing out ahead of it to disrupt the airflow into them. So that inflow is going to be favorable for these storms to perhaps strengthen a little bit and maybe produce a tornado. So again, you can see what's going on here. Mike's looking at the total rainfall. There's been a lot of rainfall with these. And there's the wind damage reports. You had one out near Tappahannock. Let's see, thunderstorm wind damage in Essex County. Power lines down in the road near Churchill Road and Dacia Road. So that road is very familiar to us. That is the road there, Dacia Road. That's the one that had the tornado damage. I believe that was back in February 24th of 2000, maybe 16. We had a big tornado outbreak. EF3 tornado. May not have been that long ago, actually, but that was some rough weather down there. So that's out in Essex County. Piney Point, let's see, wind gust 46 miles per hour out there. That was out near the, Tempest Station on the shore lane adjacent to the tidal Potomac River, okay? And so there's that damage report. So a couple damage reports, a couple of wind reports as well. These storms continue to advance to the north and east pretty quickly. Looks like we got a circulation in the air. There's that one north of Lancaster. Still has not prompted a tornado warning. I still think there's a chance that it could at any point, but as of right now, it hasn't. So again, this is going to be one to watch as it approaches Burgess. It's going to continue to move to the north and east and approach Burgess. It's crossing over Brown Store Road right now, and you got Remo in here. And anything new? Mike, from any of that?
No, actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to make a little correction here. When we talked about this confirmed tornado, it was passed along to me as that, but I do want to just correct. The sheriff mentioned a possible tornado on the ground. So it wasn't the sheriff's fault. It was...
Oh, I see.
So that was, I'll take credit for that mistake. So it was a possible tornado on the ground.
Okay.
I just want to correct that because I don't want to attribute that to the sheriff's department.
Right. Thank you, Mike. That's good. All right. So good. So hopefully everything is good in the Callio area with the storm moving through. Just a little damage there. Got a reported damage also in Tappahannock. So some damage in Tappahannock, some damage also in Callio, and haven't really got any damage reports out of the Richmond area, although we just really haven't had much intensity of the storms in the Richmond area. Had that one storm that got pretty intense just north of town up off Chamberlain. But since then, all the action has kind of shifted to our south, and these storms right here, they are kind of behaving. They just right now are severe. Wind gusts could approach 60 miles per hour with these, but as of right now, we've not had any tornado warnings there. You've got this one storm with a tornado warning across the 460 corridor, but again, this is just very heavy rainfall from the Tri-Cities area, and that is stretching up to the north and east, so that's going to be affecting Charles City. So if you live out in Charles City, just stay alert as this storm comes in. It's going to produce very heavy rainfall. Some gusty winds will be possible as well, and the southern end of that is going to clip Carson and affect the 460 corridor once again, also Route 10 as you head down towards Spring Grove. So that area of Prince George County, some pretty intense stuff. What Mike is drawing right there is the gust front here. So you see this little broken area of light green. That's the gust front, so that's the air that's being pushed out ahead of the storm. So long before the storms get there, you get that gust of wind that'll come out, and a lot of times it can lead to shelf clouds, kind of a very ominous looking cloud out ahead of these storms. It should not be confused with a wall cloud. And again, that's that line right in here. And a lot of times that's good for storms that would otherwise produce tornadoes or could produce tornadoes, is you get these storms that are outflow dominant and they just don't have the potential to get the strong updrafts and the rotating updrafts. So that's a good feature to see, but a lot of times, where that gust front can get wrapped up into the line is where you can get a little spin up. So we'll track this line carefully. As of right now, there's not a tornado threat with it anywhere, stretching from Charles City County down through Prince George County and down into Dinwiddie County. So far, so good with this area of storms. Still severe though. Farther north, just some light to moderate rainfall through New Kent County. Gets a little bit heavier over toward West Point up the 33 corridor. Again, this warning is supposed to go till 4:30, but again, it's long gone. That storm's way up in Maryland now. And we have severe weather approaching Burgess and also on the west side of Mollusk. Again, a couple of storms here. You have strong winds. Again, there's still a circulation that's going to be passing very close to Burgess, just a little bit to the west of Burgess. And as of right now, it is just a severe thunderstorm warning. But Mike, what are these winds saying in here? Probably jumping into the 70 mile per hour range now at this point. 76 miles an hour. All right, so you've got high level winds, stronger now than they were about 10 minutes ago. So again, that's an area to watch as the storm approaches Burgess. Looks like it's going to be right over Burgess or just on the west end of Burgess, and it's going to be heading up Hacks Neck Road and then out to the Potomac River. So again, looking at storm reports, we just got that one storm report from Heathsville. Structural damage reported, including a roof and siding damage off 360 in Heathsville. Possible tornado. So again, this is the Heathsville area. So this was the storm that moved from Callio over to Heathsville. So new storm report coming in. This was at 4:09, so 21 minutes ago. And that was with the storm that, again, it moved from Callio right in here to near Heathsville. So we can go back a little bit. Let's go in a little bit tighter here. So there's Callio and there's Heathsville. So, okay, that was a different storm. We had two different storms here. That's right. We had the other one that moved across parts of the northern neck. So, again, a lot going on here. That storm that moved across Callio has moved out. We had another storm that moved near Heathsville, and it could have been straight line winds. For all we know, a lot of times it is straight line winds. And people will say it sounded like a tornado, sounded like a freight train. Well, strong winds will sound the same way a lot of times. So either way, it doesn't matter. It's wind that produces damage. And storm, again, approaching Burgess right now, still has strong winds with it and a indication of some circulation. this is going to be moving out across the Potomac. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Maryland didn't pull the trigger on it and issue a tornado warning as it moves up into southern Maryland. As of right now, though, it is just a severe thunderstorm warning for us here in the Northern Neck. There's the storm. Again, crossing 360. It's going to move close to Reedville, and it's a broken line of storms that extends farther south through West Point, all the way down south and east of Richmond. Richmond all quiet right now. We're good. West of Charles City is where the line really picks up in intensity, and that's all the way down into the Tri-Cities area. So we're looking at Hopewell, south of Colonial Heights now, so mainly Hopewell, Prince George, and southern sides of Petersburg. So looking down into Prince George County, and then some storms farther south as you get down 85, kind of paralleling 85 from Dinwiddie down into Brunswick County. All right, so looking at these storms, Mike, any rotation showing up in these at all?
No, nothing on rotation. We keep seeing those little inflow notches, but hasn't been showing up on the velocity scan yet.
Yeah, so far so good with these storms, and if that continues to be the case, that'd be great to have these storms move on through. It's still going to be some heavy rainfall, maybe some gusty winds around Charles City and Garysville, and all the way across the 460 corridor. But for the most part, in an area that is strongly sheared, if that's all we end up getting, that'd be a good thing. The whole area is under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock. If you're just now tuning in or just now getting connected to what's going on, we are in a tornado watch until 7 o'clock. That watch has been trimmed back some and will likely continue to get trimmed back as storms continue to advance to the east. As of right now, there are no tornado warnings. So you've got these severe thunderstorm warnings out in the Northern Neck. You've got a severe thunderstorm warning for the Tri-Cities just south and east of Petersburg. And you have another severe thunderstorm warning down in no longer Sussex County. There's nothing in Sussex County. This is down in Surrey County and moving away. So several areas of concern right now. We have had some reports of damage, but so far not a confirmed tornado, just potential for tornado. There's the circulation over Burgess now. So that's going to go from Burgess to Ophelia and probably just a little bit north of you folks in Reedville. So just stay alert from Burgess right along Hacks Neck Road over to Ophelia as this circulation continues. It's right over 200 and 360 at this time in Burgess, and it's going to continue to move north and east. It'll be over water in about 8 minutes. So again, it's a fast moving storm, and it will continue to rapidly move north and east and then out of the Northern Neck and over into the Potomac. So almost there right now. You get a break past that storm to Lancaster, Mollusk, and Ottoman, then across the Rappahannock over toward Urbana and Saluda and Churchview, and then a break, some heavy rainfall on the west sides of West Point. Overall, looking fine in this area. No real strong circulation. Let's go a little bit farther south and west. Check out the Charles City area, Providence Forge, just some heavy rainfall in that area. And again, everything quiet here in Richmond. These storms at this point are not showing a lot of rotation, if any. So it's mainly going to be a straight line wind event in areas that have severe thunderstorm warnings. I don't see anything overly intense. And then farther south and west looking good. Okay, so we're going to keep our eye on this. The tornado warning continues for Surrey County. That's it. There's nothing else out there. We have this line of showers and storms. The area is still under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock.
The Surrey one's gone now.
The Surrey one is gone. Okay, so we no longer have tornado warnings at all. Still a watch in effect until 7 o'clock. Still a couple of areas that have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Nothing in the Richmond area, nothing moving into the Richmond area at this time. What's in Petersburg is moving away. What's in the Northern Neck and Middle Peninsula continues to move north and east. And as of right now, nothing that looks alarming in terms of the potential for a tornado. So we're going to continue to have team coverage tracking this here off camera, and we will come back to you immediately whenever we have a new warning or something that looks like it could escalate in any way. For now, we're going to return you to our normal newscast here. You're watching CBS 6 News at 4:30.
Thank you, Zach. And as we deal with storms here in Central Virginia,